Glory to Jesus Christ. Today is Friday, March 3rd, the fifth day of the fast, and we continue our series on the catechetical homilies of St. Cyril of Jerusalem, and specifically his homily about the 10 points of doctrine. Yesterday we heard about his birth of the Virgin Mary, Jesus' birth, and that section was very short, and today we'll hear another very short section about the cross of Christ, and remembering that these points in this homily are directly connected with the creed itself. So St. Cyril writes about the cross. Jesus was truly crucified for our sins, for if you would deny it, the place refutes you visibly, this blessed Golgotha, in which we are now assembled for the sake of him who was here crucified, and the whole world has since been filled with pieces of the wood of the cross. He was crucified not for sins of his own, but that we might be delivered from our sins. As man, he was at that time despised of men, as writes Isaiah, and was buffeted, yet he was acknowledged by the creation as God. For when the Son saw his Lord dishonored, he grew dim and trembled, not enduring the sight. And that's the very short section about the cross, but very concise and very direct, and very catechetical in its nature. As we come to this first week of the fast, the last day of the first week, it's always good for us to take stock and look back and see how we've done. But before I think about that, also reminded about the cross, that in the liturgical cycle of the church, that every week on Wednesday and Friday, we remember the cross of Christ. The text of the church on those days would refer to the cross, and those are usually days of fasting as well. So the cross is foremost put in front of us as a sign of hope and victory. And also, two other times during the course of the liturgical year, when we celebrate the feast of the exaltation of the cross on September 14th, and also in the middle of the fast, on the third Sunday of the fast, we remember the cross as well, and again, put there as a means of inspiring us to keep going in the fast, to be hopeful, to see the victory of Christ. And as St. Cyril said, that we see the cross of Christ, that gives us that hope and inspiration, not only during the fast but throughout all of our lives. So again, it leads us to think about the completion of a first week of the fast, and that we can take stock and look back and see how have we done. Uh, I've mentioned this year that all of us should be striving to learn, and we've had many opportunities already this first week, whether it be from the words of St. Cyril or from so many of the words of the services of the church, beginning with Forgiveness Vespers, the Canon of St. Andrew, the Presanctified Liturgy, so many things that we can hear and learn from. And even if we've not learned something specifically new, that it's been refreshed in our hearts, and that we know better the theology of the church. And St. Cyril has given us so many points already about Christ, about God, about his birth, and about the cross itself. So think about this week and what's been accomplished, what has not been accomplished, and then look and strive to do much more as the second week begins. Glory to Jesus Christ.